verified. Priority 1 message from Starfleet coming in on secured channel.
Fly it, print it, display it. Break the mold and 3D print a one-of-a-kind starship. Your starship. With mixed dimensions. Right now, Priority 1 listeners can save 20% on all ships and sizes. Just use coupon code PRIORITY20. That's PRIORITY20 at checkout. Build your fleet and display it proudly. Hello, Captains, and welcome to the live recording of episode 420 of Priority 1, a Roddenberry Star Trek podcast. Thank you all for joining us on this Tuesday night. We are ready to report on the latest news from the Star Trek multiverse. But joining us this week to fill in our guest host spot for this week as Anthony takes care of his newborn and his wife is... I'm going to read what he put on Zoom. Taco Tumor Fangboy!
Welcome.
Nick, thank you so very much, Nick, for stopping by and being our guest host on Priority 1. It's usually at Vegas that you fill in as a guest host, and it's been a few years since you actually...
I've prepared just as much today.
That is A-okay. Right. That is A-okay. So thank you so very much for joining us tonight. And it is our holiday week here in the United States. We celebrate this week the 4th of July, where we are not apologetic. Well, I don't know. Maybe now we're a little apologetic to anyway, moving on. But
I was just gonna see if you were gonna go there.
Let me just bail. Let me just bail on that joke now. Yeah. Bailing. It was bad. It was like that plane stalled, and was crashing down, and I hit eject on that.
Yep.
All right. Anywho, all right. So I'm recording on Zoom, and why don't we go ahead and get the party started? So the only two people recording locally are myself and Kat. So Kat, I'm just going to hit, we don't have to sync. I'm going to hit, 3, 2, 1, click, and then we'll just jump right in. Okay.
Got it.
All right. 3, 2, 1. This is intro. So intro in 3, 2. Hello, Captains. You're listening to episode 420 of Priority 1, a Roddenberry Star Trek podcast. your weekly report from the Star Trek multiverse. Recorded live on Tuesday, July 2nd, 2019, and available for download or streaming on Friday, July 5th at PriorityOnePodcast.com. I'm Elijah.
And I'm Kat.
Well, Anthony is out again this week, Captains, but we have a very special guest hosting with us to deliver the weekly recap of Star Trek news. Joining us this week is Star Trek Online's environment artist, Nick Tacofang Duguid.
Yay! This is Nick, Tacofang Priority 1 Sync 3.
Oh, thanks, Nick. Well, Nick, really, thank you again for joining us on this week. We're so very excited to have you. It's been a while. Usually, we have you on for just interviews alone or at Vegas, but now you get to co-host with us and talk about the news.
You fools.
All right, Kat, why don't you tell us what we've got coming up this week?
Well, this week we're checking out Star Trek Picard's newly announced showrunner and Star Trek Universe Invades Star Trek Universe Invades San Diego Comic-Con. In Star Trek Online and Gaming news, we take a closer look at Star Trek Online's newest hot rods. Oh, I'm going to do that again. In STO and Gaming news, we take a closer look at Star Trek Online's newest hot rods and discuss the power of gifting. Of course, as always, before we wrap up the show, we'll open hailing frequencies for your incoming messages.
Can you give me that last part one more time?
Of course, as always, before we wrap up the show, we'll open hailing frequencies for your incoming messages.
That's good. That's good. But before we move on, we do have... Okay. Actually... Let's skip that. Nick, go ahead and if you can, please read the next part.
And if you haven't thought to, we encourage you to open hailing frequencies.
It's hard, right?
I suck at reading things like this. I can riff all day long, but I cannot read, and so we'll suffer through this. And if you haven't thought to, we encourage you to open hailing frequencies. Reach out to us. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/PriorityOneProd. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/PriorityOnePodcast. We're on Twitter and Instagram at PriorityOneProd.
That is a different show, man. That is a different show.
Yeah, don't go there. Don't go to Priority One Prod. We're on Twitter and Instagram at Priority One Pod. You can even send us an email at incoming@PriorityOnePodcast.com.
And Captains, we do need to take a moment to thank our patrons, because without their support, we would not have been able to upgrade our website. That's right.
Woo!
We very stealthily and ninja'd a release of our new website over at PriorityOnePodcast.com. We're hoping that with this transition, it makes it easier for you to just visit the site and start listening to the latest episode with an inline player right on the homepage.
Cool.
Now, this would not be possible without the monthly contributions of our patrons who help us to improve our digital tools like our website, editing software, or equipment that we bring to us to conventions live. For instance, Star Trek Las Vegas coming up in less than a month. So, Captains, if you haven't already thought to, please consider contributing to our Patreon page over at patreon.com/PriorityOnePodcast. There are several tiers to entice you, including After Hours, a completely separate show, unscripted, unedited, recorded by your hosts and special guests each and every week. Go ahead, Kat.
Captains, we understand that a financial contribution may not be possible, but there are other ways you can help the show. We're looking for volunteers to join the production. Specifically, we're looking for audio editors to help clean up a segment or two. We currently have a great team working hard each week, but many hands make light work. Shoot us an email to incoming@PriorityOnePodcast.com with audio editor in the subject line.
Now let's check out the latest news from the Star Trek multiverse. All right, cool. Now, the hard part's out of the way, Nick. That's it. Everything from here is...
I'm not worried about it. The hard part is, like I said, my descent into madness. By the way, I'm assuming that you all have recognized that it's episode 420 and you've already made all those jokes.
We have not made the jokes. We will not make the jokes.
I was trying to think of.
I just mean amongst yourselves, like you.
Do you have any?
Oh.
I mean, I was trying to think
I was
of
hoping
one.
that this was going to be a very different kind of show, but you know, fine.
I mean, Nepata leaves. I don't know.
Maybe we'll think of something for the title, but actually it didn't dawn on me until I was writing the episode title, the episode number in Facebook and social media. I was like, oh, 420, man.
Yep.
I forgot to make a joke.
Yep.
We are a different kind of show, Nick.
I think you are.
We're not. We're not. All right. I think our longtime listeners know better than to think that. Check it out. All right. You ready, Kat?
Maybe.
Oh, fair enough.
Where
Ready,
are
Nick?
we putting these things? Sorry.
There should be a folder already in there.
I don't see one for 420 since we were just talking about it. Should I make one?
No, it should be there.
Oh.
Are you using a local drive or are you online?
I'm online. Wait. Maybe I was on the wrong thing.
This isn't doing anything, right? Is this microphone hooked up to anything?
I don't.
I hear a difference in something
Really?
you said. Yeah, it was weird.
All right. Well, I'll do that in a minute.
Yeah,
Okay.
just save it to your desktop for now. And... All right. I'm going to hit the big red button for Truck It Out in 3, 2, 1. Truck It Out in 3. Truck it out. 3, 2. We may not know if Jean-Luc Picard will take command of a Starfleet vessel in the upcoming series, Star Trek Picard. But we do know who will take command of show-running duties. Michael Chabon. The 56-year-old American-born Chabon. Okay. The 56-year-old American-born Chabon is a Pulitzer. The 56-year-old American-born Chabon is a Pulitzer Prize-winning author with experience in screenwriting, including his work on Star Trek Discovery's short trek Calypso. In a press release, Star Trek franchise head Alex Kurtzman said, quote, daring, lyrical, humane, whimsical, celebrated. Words that describe both Jean-Luc Picard and the literary genius of Michael Chabon. Despite a laundry list of accomplishments most writers only dream of, Michael shines with the heart and soul of a Trekkie who's finally found his dream job. We are so fortunate to have him at the helm as we explore this next chapter in the great captain's life. End quote. Chabon continued with, quote, Star Trek has been an important part of my way of thinking about the world, the future, human nature, storytelling, and myself since I was 10 years old. I come to work every day in a state of joy and awe at having been entrusted with the character of the world of Jean-Luc Picard. With this vibrant strand of the rich, intricate, and complex tapestry that is Trek. End quote. For links to those articles, be sure to check out the show notes. So anybody want to say anything about Chabon?
I'm excited.
Get out of my head.
So what makes you excited about it, Nick?
He's pretty well known for being a pretty great writer. I don't know that we've seen him as a showrunner before, which is interesting. But, you know, no doubt that they'll get him up to speed and he'll be good. So, yeah.
Yeah, I like he's super passionate about it, or he sounds that way from his quotes.
Yeah, I mean, and also he is an award-winning writer, right? He's won a
Right.
Hugo for Best Novel and a
yeah.
Nebula Award. So he knows and is familiar and comfortable with science fiction.
And I would assume that he would not be. I guess I'm assuming, which does those things, but he probably wouldn't be involved with Star Trek unless he was actually interested in it. Like he strikes me as the kind of person that does what he wants, so to speak. He works on the projects that he's interested in. So the fact that he's interested means that I think that he's interested in Star Trek as a whole, and has probably seen a fair bit of it at some point. I don't know. That's my guess.
Agreed, sir. All right, Kat, go ahead. Oh, that's the nature of this. We just go. All right, you won the last word.
Done with you. Bye.
No, it's
Yep.
more like Nick got the last word. On to the next one. Otherwise, we'll be here all night, man. If we start going back and forth.
Exactly.
Have you ever listened to One with Anthony?
I don't think I've ever. Well, I've listened to those. I haven't. I don't know that I've ever really listened live, or it's been many years if I have.
No.
I'm like, yeah, let's just do this. Not that it's not fun at all. All right. Well, convention season is upon us, and though Star Trek Las Vegas holds a special place in our Trekkie hearts, there is no denying that the big kahuna of the convention season is San Diego Comic-Con. But there's no need to be jealous because our beloved series is set to invade San Diego Comic-Con 50 with its Star Trek Universe campaign. Star Trek will take over the prestigious Hall H for an hour and a half, 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday, July 20th. Kicking off the 3-hour panels is the Star Trek Discovery. Wait a minute.
Oh, is the cast.
Cast of. Okay, I can't read. Kicking off the 3 half-hour panels is the cast of Star Trek Discovery, moderated by comedian actress Tig Notaro, Discovery's Jet Reno. The panel will include series lead Sonequa Martin Green and executive producers Alex Kurtzman, Michelle Paradise, and Heather Kadin. Is that right? Kadin?
Heather Caden.
Caden?
Yeah.
Okay. The panel will include series lead Sonequa Martin Green and executive producers Alex Kurtzman, Michelle Paradise, and Heather Caden. Next up is Star Trek Lower Decks, the animated comedy from TNG Season 8 creator and Rick and Morty showrunner Mike McMahon. McMahon.
McMahon.
What is it?
McMahon.
Damn it. All right.
McMahon.
It looks like Mahan.
Well, it's Mick Mahan.
McMahon. Right.
Mick Mahan.
Is it Mahan or is it McMahon?
No, it's McMahon probably.
Oh, okay.
Probably.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, there's a word in Spanish that I think of that comes to mind but I won't say it on the family show.
Okay. Next up is Star Trek Lower Decks, the animated comedy from TNG Season 8 creator and Rick and Morty showrunner Mike McMahon. StarTrek.com teases the possibility of a special guest or two, as well as a first look at the upcoming series. Finishing off the takeover is Sir Patrick Stewart and the cast of Star Trek Picard. Joining the on-screen talent will be executive producers Alex Kurtzman, Michael Chabon, Akiva Goldsman. What is it?
Chabon.
Damn it. Alrighty. Finishing off the takeover is Sir Patrick Stewart and the cast of Star Trek Picard. Joining the on-screen talent will be executive producers Alex Kurtzman, Michael Chabon, Akiva Goldsman, and Heather Caden.
Nick, go ahead and jump right in, and then we'll talk about San Diego Comic-Con.
Jump right, but San Diego Comic is... Wait, what?
Sorry, jump right in, and then we'll save the discussion about San Diego Comic-Con when you're done.
Jump right into this.
But SDCC.
Okay. Yeah. But San Diego Comic-Con isn't just about the panels. But San Diego Comic-Con isn't just about the panels and Star Trek Star Trek.
Isn't just about panels.
Just about panels, and Star Trek Universe is... Oh, I see. Okay.
How dare Jake? And your improper use of a comma.
Well, no,
No, it's wrong. I mean, it's not wrong.
So-
But it's weirdly worded.
Star Trek isn't just about panels and Star Trek.
But San Diego Comic-Con isn't just about panels, and Star Trek is taking to the floor as well.
Okay.
I just removed that and. That and is weird.
Okay. But San Diego Comic-Con isn't just about panels. Star Trek Universe is taking to the floor as well. From the Star Trek Discovery Interactive Transporter Experience, which will allow you to board the Discovery, to the Jean-Luc Picard The First Duty exhibit, which will feature uniforms and props from TNG and Star Trek Picard. Oh, that's a whole sentence. Okay, let's try this again. That's one sentence. Okay, let's
It's not.
try.
Yeah, it's a whole. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not. This is not your
It's
fault.
fine.
It is not your.
Let's go from Jean-Luc. Okay. To the Jean-Luc Picard, the First Duty exhibit, which will feature uniforms and props from TNG and Star Trek Picard. They'll soon... From...
Actually, you could take it from "There'll be plenty."
Okay. There'll be plenty of Star Trek to do and see.
To see and...
I'm cutting that up.
No,
Sorry.
there's no way we're saying to do and see. To experience.
You do?
We're not about to do.
There'll be plenty to experience.
Yeah, just give me that one line. There'll be plenty of Star Trek to experience.
Okay. There'll be plenty of Star Trek to experience.
Oh, you keep going. So, this is all you.
Okay. Sorry, just reflecting for a moment. Finally, if collectibles are your thing, the Star Trek universe has something for you too. From StarTrek.com, quote, all week long, this quote, all week long, a Star Trek headquarters visitor's badge will be available for those who visit and complete a Star Trek transporter experience on the show floor. On Saturday afternoon and Sunday, a limited quality of pins featuring the debut of
Limited
two characters.
Quantity. I heard you said quality.
Oh, I did say quality.
These pins are terrible. They just collapse.
Limited quality of pins. The first ones are really good, but the other ones are really crap.
On Saturday. On Saturday afternoon and Sunday.
On Saturday afternoon and Sunday, a limited quantity of... Sorry. Let me adjust things here.
You know, I have to admit, there's a little part of me that is this is gonna sound so mean, but I'm gonna say it. It's a little part of me that's satisfied when we have a guest from Crypticon, because you guys, we struggle so much with those made up words that you guys design for equipment. That it's like the Heisenflagenblagen compensator.
If you ever need to know about pronunciations, just ask. We're happy to tell you. On Saturday afternoon and Sunday, a limited quantity of pins featuring the debut of two characters from the upcoming CBS All Action. CBS All Action. I'd watch that.
I would too.
On Saturday afternoon and Sunday, a limited quantity of pins featuring the debut of two characters from the upcoming CBS All Access animated show, Star Trek Lower Decks, will also be available from the Star Trek booth. At the Jean-Luc Picard, the First Duty Museum experience at Michael J.
You were going to say Michael J. Fox.
There's a lot of buzz in this. Okay. At the Jean-Luc Picard, the First Duty Museum experience at the... No. Shit.
You can say
it's experience as a verb. Experience. Wait a minute. That doesn't make sense.
No.
It's the museum experience at Michael J. Wolf Fine Arts.
Oh.
All right. Ready? 3, 2, 1. At the Jean-Luc Picard, the First Duty Museum experience at Michael J. Wolf Fine Arts Gallery. Nope, not gallery.
That's all right. That's cool. Fans. No, I swear,
Cards.
it's got to be a gallery. It's got
All right,
what
ready?
fine arts? What? What
Shut
else?
up! I'm doing it. At the Jean-Luc Picard, the First Duty Museum Experience at Michael J. Wolfe Fine Arts, fans can get an exclusive replica pin of the Picard family crest as seen in Star Trek Picard. End quote.
Well done.
That was a lot of quotes. Okay. Check out the show notes for... Nope. Check out the show notes for links to the... Check out the show notes for links to details.
Yeah. I know, it's a bitch every week.
I just suck at this, and it's fine. Like, I know to just stop and redo it, but it takes me a long time.
No worries, man. It's the magic of editing. And what was that word that you said a few weeks ago, Kat? That was a total Treknobabble, and you, like, in the first go were like, blah, 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 blah. I'm so
The
jealous.
noobs. That was something trilithium lace, something weaponry.
So I would love to attend San Diego Comic-Con. Nick, Kat, do either of you have any plans to try to go?
No, sir.
No.
I've never been.
Yeah, it seems like it's a bit overwhelming at this point. I much would have liked to have gone when it was not as...
Sounds super hipstery, but I'm kind of like, I'm in the same boat where, like, I wish I had gone, in the early 2000s when it was big but not crazy.
Right.
And it just doesn't sound appealing at this point to me.
Yeah.
I mean, aspects of it are appealing, but, like, the whole of it is repulsive.
Yeah, I found that I feel that way going to New York Comic-Con, because that is a lot of people in New York City in a confined space, right? And so if that type of environment already affects you, it's just walking into the lion's den for that kind of thing. So it gets to be a lot. However, I don't know. Some of these are nice to have. Like, I got at New York Comic-Con, they were selling the Jean-Luc Picard autobiography novel and giving an exclusive pin that went with the novel. It was like a little enterprise pin. So that was cool. Yeah, those are cool. So yeah, like I'm excited about the Star Trek things that are happening there. Not much else, so it's hard to justify a trip.
I wish that I, like, had a friend that lived, 3 blocks away, and I could just go, like, hang out in San Diego. And when I felt like it, I could just go down. And, like, it's honestly the same way I feel about STLV. Like, I wish I could just be there and hang out and, go down when I'm feeling like it and leave when I'm not. And I mean, I kind of do that. I go back to the room, but it's not the same. You don't feel comfortable in a hotel room necessarily the same way that you would,
Yeah, I get it.
That's how I feel about parties. Like, I want the party to be going on constantly, in the next room or in the next apartment, and then I can just sleep until I'm ready, and then I'll go over for a bit, and then I can come back some more. And then
Feels like South by Southwest to me. It's where it's like, yeah, it's good in theory until you are stuck downtown because traffic's terrible and you can't get out.
It's it's an experience, and I hope that they will offer some of these at STLV, for instance, and hopefully New York Comic-Con. I mean,
I would imagine that they will have. Well, I don't know. There's a limited quality of them. We'll get we'll get something. I don't know. I don't know the Michael J. Wolfe Fine Arts booth. Is that something that has been at STLV before?
They have, I think that last year that version of that was the same as the exhibit that they had for Discovery at STLV, where you can kind of get up close and personal with the costumes.
Maybe.
And then
I see.
And then at that same in the adjacent room, there was one for TNG, and they had like the Borg Queen skull. Like I think that's what this is going to be. I think it's going to be a lot of the same things. I'm just kind of jealous that I won't be able to get my hands on cool little pins like the crest, like the family crest.
I have gone to so many conventions at this point. I'm so past getting the little knickknacks. I have tubs full of it that I've gotten rid of because it just sits in a box. Like, I don't do anything with it. I don't care about it. There are a few, one little thing here and there that I'll want, and then most of the time I'm just like, no, I don't want your shirt. I don't want the cup. I don't want the thing. Just leave me alone. I want to see the things. I want to experience stuff, but I don't.
Well, on the next printout of Priority 1 t-shirts, I know not to give you one.
That's right.
Oh, man.
Well,
Listen,
Captains,
my Floss in Paradise shirt. That's all I need.
I do love that Floss in Paradise shirt. I'm
Nice.
all Ruby Rod.
Super green. Oh, I wonder
Super green. There's your 420 joke. Dang.
well, there's the name of the podcast, Super Green.
Oh, awesome.
Oh no, that's mine.
Retro.
Oh, sorry. I was seeing if there was like a way to just show the green screen that's actually behind me, and then I'd be super green. But I can't do it.
Commercial.
Commercial. Well, Captains, community question. Well, Captains, that brings us to our first community question this week. Are you going to San Diego Comic-Con this year? What are you most looking forward to? Panels, meet and greets, interactive displays, exclusives? Let us know by replying to our community question post on our social media channels like facebook.com/priority1 or on Twitter and Instagram @priority1pod, or visit our brand spanking new website over at priority1podcast.com. All right. Oh, you got to sweep out. Kat, can you sweep out?
Huh?
Should be towards the bottom. Well, that's it, Captains. That's all the news we have. It's towards the second page, sorry.
Oh.
After
yeah.
everything I crossed out about Ethan Peck. And it says Anthony.
Oh, okay. Well, Captains, that's all the news we have to check it out this week. Now
To
let's
check
find out what... Oh, okay. I'll start over.
Sorry.
Well, Captains, that's all the news we have to check out this week. Now let's find out what happened in the world of Star Trek gaming.
Sweet. All right, hit stop.
Dun 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 dun. Ba, ba, ba,
Kat,
ba.
have you gone... What conventions have you been to, Kat? I think I asked
just-
you this on like the first day that you
Yeah,
started.
just the ones in Dallas, and I feel like I went somewhere else other than the Star Trek experience when it was in Vegas.
You gotta.
I guess just Dallas Comic Cons, because I never really went to too many cons, but they had some really good stuff. Saw a Firefly panel; it was awesome.
Jake is...
Like, I have never been to a bad convention. Like, they're all different, but they're all like cool in their own way. Like, every one of them is just this, gathering of nerds. I don't
Yeah,
know.
there's always cool stuff to see and stuff
Yeah.
you're interested in, and people that you have stuff in common with. So
the
it's always
smaller
really
ones-
fun.
And the smaller ones are often better because you actually get to interact with people more, even like celebrities. Like we used to have there was a Star Trek convention that used to happen up here, and it was tiny, but it was really neat because we could actually like talk to people and like, yeah, I don't know. STLV and Comic-Con, they just get so huge that it's like there's no way to do any of that.
I like STLV a little more because versus local conventions, because yes, there are certainly regulars that show up for the local cons, but not often. And it's in most cases, I think what happens with Vegas is that because you're not, an hour from home or 30 minutes from home, we all congregate at the hotel bars, right? We all stay
Sure.
downstairs. And so
Yeah.
it is encouraged that you socialize. I mean, sure, you can go back
No, it's
into
more
your
of a
room.
community at STLV than
Right. So, because we've had the local Star Trek conventions here, and that community isn't there, right? It's really, even when they try to do karaoke at night, it's not the same. So yeah, it's definitely an experience.
Doo-doo.
All right. So, all right, STO News, and then we'll do a little bit of an interview with you, Nick, if you don't mind.
I have nothing to say.
Fair enough.
Speak to my lawyer.
What's
Well, Priority One will have our lawyers.
that? I'm not licensed in California.
Are you a lawyer?
Yes.
3. So this is 3. Okay.
Oh, the camera makes my hair look good.
Looks shiny.
It does look shiny. Look at that sheen.
Chicken bow wow.
Day on a daily basis.
And I don't know if you're doing anything for Make-A-Wish in the coming weeks or anything, but you're welcome to promote anything that you're working on or anything that they're doing.
I'm actually between wishes right now anyway, because Julia, our other community manager, signed up as a wish granter, and so I'm waiting for her to get approved so that I can be her co-grantor on her first wish, which will be cool.
Awesome. All right. You ready to jump into Star Trek Online news?
Sure.
Oh,
right.
hold on.
There's all sorts of extra stuff down in the bottom of this page, but I guess we're not going through any of that. The Check It Out page.
Oh, Check It Out. Yeah, we'll save. There's a
something.
For Check It Out, no, but later we'll go back, and if you don't, you've played around with the game print ships, right?
I've seen them. I don't have one.
Okay, that's fine. Do you have an opinion on what you've seen?
Yeah, they're good.
Cool. Yeah, at the end of this, we'll do a little game print. I got to do a game print little ad.
Where are we at? STO News?
STO News, yeah.
Okay, cool.
I should have told you to keep Check It Out open, though, because we need to do game print later.
Oh, it's open.
Oh, cool. What did I do? Yeah, okay. All right, STO News. I'm going to hit the big red button in 3, 2, 1. STO News in 3, 2. What's more exciting than the Lolonaut Festival?
This guy. Oh, sorry.
Oh, we are totally... There is going to be a sound effect for that. There's going to be a sound effect for that. Yes. The prize you get by participating in the Lolonaut Festival. That guy. And this week, details for the grand prize, the Tier 6 Rycian Corvette, were announced. Yippee! Actually, let's all go yippee at the same time. Ready? 3, 2. Yippee! I'm so excited.
You did not do it, Nick.
What? I totally did it.
You did? Okay. I didn't hear you.
We just harmonized so you couldn't hear it.
Oh, okay.
The Tier 6 Rycian Corvette features a 4 forward, 3 aft weapon layout with the ability to equip dual heavy cannons. In addition, the ship comes with the experimental weapon Solition Wave Impeller, which damages.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah. In addition, the ship comes with the experimental weapon. Why did I say weapon? There's no H there. There's no H there.
Wesley. Is it Solition? It's not Soliton?
Solition.
Oh.
I would say Solition because of the ION. Tion.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Yeah, that's correct. It just seems...
It's actually Solid Ion.
Oh, okay.
I honestly have no idea.
Oh, okay.
You can call Jeremy if you want to ask.
Hey, Jeremy, how do you say this?
It looks Solition. Okay. Just looks weird.
Solition Wave. Solition Wave. Okay. In addition, the ship comes with the experimental weapon Solition Wave Impeller, which damages and slows your target and has a chance of causing radiation damage over time. Further, the Solition Wave Impeller increases your weapon haste based on engine power. Your weapon haste based on it? Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Your weapon haste based on engine power.
Further, the Solition Wave Impeller increases your weapon haste based on engine power. The Corvette also comes equipped with the Universal Console Enhanced Subspace Wake Generator. When activated, the console causes a subspace wake that damages and slows nearby critters and improves your mobility. It also passively increases flight speed and maximum engine power, and can be equipped in any of the Corvette's 4 tactical, 4 engineering, or 3 science console slots, or any other ship in your dry dock. Excuse me.
You leave my dry dock out of this.
I will. Finally, reaching level 5 Starship Mastery will grant you the Starship trait Rhythmic Rumble. Quote, while this trait is slotted, activating any auxiliary power to the inertial dampeners or any pilot bridge officer ability grants you a boost to damage resistance rating and weapon power cost based on your speed. End quote. It also plays a little musical tune on the Calypso. No? Darn it.
It pretty much
Isn't that
sounds like it does that. It does everything else. It looks amazing.
Isn't that called a Calypso? Oh, I thought it was a Calypso. Oops. What's it called?
Is a type of music, right?
Calypso is a type of music, but...
And what's the drum?
Huh?
The steel drum. What's the steel drum called?
It's steel drum.
Steel drum.
I thought it had a different name other than steel drum.
Oh, maybe. Is that called a Calypso?
I thought it was.
I don't know.
You could be right. Should we Google it?
I'm going to Google it right now.
Yeah, as far as I know, Calypso is just a type of music. But it could be an actual thing.
No, I guess I am absolutely, completely, and totally wrong.
You made that up.
I did. All right. Well, that gets cut. Okay, moving on.
All right, then. Once you've unlocked the Tier 6 Rising and Cruiser,
sorry, can you start it from the top because you went, once.
Yes.
It's hard to edit. Sorry. Kat, you're doing great. Really, you are. So are you, Nick. You're doing real great. Everybody's doing great.
Oh, yeah, thanks. Afterthoughts.
We're all doing great. It's all great.
He sounded like Rick. Once you've unlocked the Tier 6 Ryzian Cruiser, you will have the opportunity to purchase the Tier 6 Ryzian Pilot Corvette from your fleet. For 1 fleet ship module and 20,000 fleet credits, you'll get access to the upgraded Corvette, which will be able to perform pilot maneuvers like afterburners, retro rockets, and barrel rolls.
Yeah.
Sweet. The Pilot Corvette improves on the Ryzian Corvette's bridge officer stations, upgrading to Commander Tactical Pilot and Lieutenant Tactical Pilot stations, maintaining the Lieutenant Commander Engineering and Ensign Science slots, and downgrading to a Lieutenant Commander Universal station. Wow. That's so cool. I can't wait to get this ship. Finally, you'll see an increase in hull and shield modifiers from the Ryzian Corvette's 0.9 to the Pilot Corvette's 0.99 in both categories, while maintaining the Ryzian's mind-boggling 21 degrees per second turn rate, 0.27 impulse modifier, and 90 inertia stats. Man, that ship's going to move.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be... Oh, man, I can't wait to get this ship and fly it so fast. For a link to the full stats breakdown, check out the show notes.
Now, here's my question, though. So, with these really fast and nimble ships, there tends to be a drift, but is it the higher inertia stats, the less that drift happens, that Tokyo drift when you stop?
I don't
Yeah.
know. Yes.
I think so, because these things turn on a dime and they don't, they're not sliding all over the place once you're made the turn, basically.
Okay. Yeah, I find that my Gagarin drifts quite a bit, and it could be that because it's
Those do, though. They just slide right. You're just like, I didn't mean to go there. Hey.
It's tall ship combat. It's not, you're not a fighter.
Yes.
But these things are speedboats, so.
Yeah, they're...
I'm not gonna lie. It's been a while since I've done a summer ship, and I think I might get this one. I think I might try to go for it.
You should. Nick, do you play the game much?
Not much, but some here and there. But we get all the ships for free, so we don't have to grind for any of that stuff.
Well, that's nice.
It is, but it also takes like some of the motivation out of it for playing. You know, I mean, we play for for fun and all that anyway, but yeah, it's you don't get the payoff necessarily of
the
for an event like
moment
this.
of, oh my god, I just got a ship.
It's nice for the lockbox ship where we don't have to use keys and all that, but
well, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, this ship it's just wow. I can't wait to fly it. I love fast little ships. Yeah, I love fast ships.
Yeah, it's quick for sure.
Well, that brings us to our next community question this week. Now that you've seen the stats, what do you think about the Tier 6 Rycian Cruiser and the Rycian Pilot Corvette? Again, just answer our community questions over at facebook.com. Again, you can answer our community question by visiting us over at PriorityOnePodcast.com or keeping an eye on our social media channels for our community question post.
Gift a Starship. https://www.en.com/en/games/Star Trek.online. No, shoot, I missed it.
Take it from the top. No, God, no, please, God, no.
games.com/en/games/star-trek-online/news/detail.
He's going all the way, Captain.
1969111964993 give the
he's going for it.
Starship %21.
Yes.
Well done, sir.
Done.
That was committed. You were committed.
A long requested feature is making a short-term appearance in the Zen store from July 3rd at 8 p.m.
8 a.m.
No, a.m. From July 3rd at 8 a.m. Pacific time. From July 3rd at 8 a.m. Pacific time to July 8th at 10 a.m., players will have the opportunity to purchase a T6 Starship coupon gift. Nope. From July 3rd at 8 a.m. Nope.
You can take it from players.
I know, but I want to get the whole thing.
Okay.
From July 3rd at 8 a.m. Pacific time to July 8th at 10 a.m., players will have an opportunity to purchase a T6 Starship coupon gift. For 3,000 Zen, the price of a Tier 6 Starship, players can purchase a tradable coupon reward pack. Once opened, the players will receive a coupon that will grant the user 100% off the purchase price of any ship in the Zen store. Be careful not to open the reward pack unless you want to keep the prize inside yourself. The coupon is account bound.
That's a good, that's a nice noted warning there. Don't open the box unless you want to buy yourself a ship.
Damn right. But it's a good gift. It's pretty cool that that you can gift a ship to somebody else now, like that. Just
so that everybody knows, my birthday is in October. I'm kidding.
It is really cool that you can give ships because, if you're trying to not necessarily coerce, but encourage your friends to play, you can give them a cool ship and they can start playing, especially if they're leveling somebody up and you can get them a Tier 6 ship.
Right. This is definitely for the Star Trek fan who has not yet jumped into the game because they're like, I don't want to wait until I'm level 60 to fly a Defiant, even though now you don't have to worry about that anyway. Now it's, hey, here's a ship, play it. Honestly, that's how I got into trying that game that is in such turmoil. Star Citizen. Was that Tony from Guard Frequency was like, here's a gift, here's a ship, try out the game, see if you enjoy it and play with us. And I did not. So, I tried it, but I did not like it, and I did not continue playing.
Well, that's fair.
But you can also gift things just to friends who might, have been lusting after some ship that they haven't bought or whatever. If it's a gift. It's whatever you want to use it for.
Right.
Exactly. Not everybody can get a Zen store ship.
Or you can buy it your damn self if you want to buy a coupon to buy yourself a ship. Sure, do that.
There's all kinds of ships too.
There's lots of ships.
Yeah.
Why don't you read this note, Kat?
According to Mike Batum, players will not be able to put the coupon. Will you say his real name or is Ambassador Kale?
Yeah, you can say Ambassador Kale, and
Okay.
say the note thing, or the word note, like a disclaimer.
Note: according to Ambassador Kale, players will not be able to put the coupon reward pack on the exchange, so you can't sell it on the exchange.
I don't want to get into that. So, Nick,
It's a gift.
It's a gift. So,
gift.
Nick, while we have you, why don't you tell us what you've been working on recently, and what you've been, what we might have seen over the last couple of months?
I refuse.
Fair enough. Moving on.
I can't talk about what we've been working on. I really want to. I think it's cool, but that's a standard thing of it's not out, it's not announced. We can't talk about it. So things I can talk about: Pavo, Prior's World, Ryza. Anything before that, obviously. Those are the things that are most recent that I've touched.
So did you work on the environment for the last two featured episodes that we did with Rekha Sharma and Jason Isaacs?
Yes. The
one with the pits.
I did the interior of the Baran with the attack and the shuttle escape. And then, although that was, obviously using all of the Discovery stuff that we have already had, but I did the layout and, some of the swaps and things. Although the spoiler alert, the ceiling panel that fell down was worked on by David and then Chris, our new environment artist. And then I helped a bunch with Prior's World, the moon, the ice planet that you go down to.
I love that.
David really headed up that whole project, so that was his baby, but I did a lot of work on the materials for the rocks and the snow and the ice and all that kind of stuff. It was a lot of fun. It's cool to do something, pretty different from what we've done really anywhere. We have some snowy maps, but they're ancient, and so it was cool to do it again.
So what does make it different, right? So you said you just said you have a few older maps that are snowy. I think of Andoria, for instance, but what is different now versus back then, and what kind of techniques might have you applied to this map?
Technology has progressed a lot since Andoria was built, and or Rura Penthe or some of our other older maps. And so our min spec has been raised over the years, so that we have to make sure that the game will run on whatever our min spec machine is. And since that has been bumped up, that means that we can do more graphically intensive stuff there. Just technology has progressed. We, use different tools now than we might have used back then to create all that stuff. We had more time. We have a newish, he's been here for just over a year now, art lead on Star Trek named Bill. And Bill has been making a pretty big push for, quality and for taking time to actually put the quality in that things deserve. So, it takes us more time to build something like Prior's World, but I think that the quality of the environment and the quality of the mission, really speak to that with the cutscene work and stuff that Weston was able to put into it. And so.
I'm curious. So you mentioned Weston and setting up the cinematics for that. How involved are you when he's making the animation? Do you essentially create the environment and then he has fun, or does he sometimes have to have a vision for a scene that is separate from the map that you have to create?
Usually it's us making the map and then we tell a story within that. I don't necessarily work so much directly with Weston as our environment lead Scott does. Scott has kind of become the cinematographer, if you want, for the cutscene. So even though Weston is doing all of the animation and the camera work and all that, Scott and Weston and a couple other people will come up with storyboards for what they want a cutscene to look like and what they the shots that they want, all that. And so maybe in some of that it will be discovered that, oh well, it'd be really cool if we had this part kind of scene, or some little item or object or whatever. But usually it's not like, oh well, we need to add an entirely new environment, because it takes so long to make an environment like that we couldn't just suddenly say, okay, well, we need a fire moon as well as an ice moon.
Right.
That would get negated pretty quick.
Well, I know the last few missions are just phenomenal. Like, they're like my new favorite missions. Everything looks so great, and the missions themselves are fantastic, well written, and the cutscenes are amazing. All of that, it's so good.
Glad you like it.
I do. I love it. More Jason Isaacs.
More Jason Isaacs. I don't know if that's going to be in the cards anytime soon.
Just personal opinion.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure about Jason Isaacs. We have other things in the works, but I can't talk about any of that either. So
that's okay. But anyway, well done. It's been fantastic. The latest missions are great.
Yeah. Oh, Operation Riposte was another one that I worked on. If you've played through that,
definitely.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. It's been a while since I played
The TFO.
Did you play Binary Stars?
Yes.
I did, yes.
Oh, that one was so cool looking. I loved it.
Oh, that's right. You did Binary Stars, right? Have we had a chance to talk about that?
I don't think so.
So,
well done. That map is awesome. I would just fly around afterwards and just check it all out. I never hung around after a TFO was done that much.
What did that take to put together something like Binary Stars, right? Because it is so screen accurate.
Well, thank you.
Good.
That I will. I mean, I did the work for it, but I will credit Bill for fighting for the time to do it. That is, space maps. Most of the game, space maps are the easy part. Space maps don't take nearly as much time as the ground maps do, just because there isn't much there, right? We need a planet, and we need a sun, and we need some stuff in the sky. And so a lot of that is relatively pretty simple and pretty quick. We might do a space map in 3 or 4 days most of the time. And for that map, Bill and others fought to make sure that we got, I think we had a full 6 weeks to work on that map. I might be wrong on that. It might be 4 weeks or something, but it's still like, 4 times as much as we would normally have to spend on a single space map. So that's it. Like, that's really the difference is give us time and we can make cooler stuff.
And were you going frame by frame with Discovery, or because of the relationship that is being developed with CBS licensees, were you able to kind of look at better digital shots of that environment from the show?
No, we get some stuff from CBS, behind the scenes and that kind of stuff, but it's really sporadic in terms of what it covers, and it's almost like we'll have terabytes devoted to this stuff, and almost all of it is not the stuff that we need, right? It's like it all just happens to be the things that aren't necessarily useful. They would be useful if we were doing exactly this one thing, but it's not that thing. So no, it's all screenshots from the show, and it's not, I didn't try to match necessarily one screenshot, because if you watch the show and you watch it with the eye that we have to in order to try and recreate things like this, and you take screenshots along the way, go take screenshots of that whole episode of the Binary Stars, and the colors even change between them. Like one is very orange and the next one is very yellow. And this one shows the binary stars being in this orientation and this one shows the binary stars in this orientation. And so you can't just like, you either have to like pick one and say, that's the one that we're going to match, or say, okay, we're not necessarily matching any of these. We just want the feel of kind of all of this. Right. And so that was really more what happened with binary stars, is it was more trying to just match the feel of that episode and of those scenes, rather than trying to be very screen accurate to one particular screenshot.
Awesome.
Well, it worked.
It did.
I felt like I was there.
Yeah. Yeah, he did some amazing work on that map. I mean, like Kat said, we were in the scene with the Shenzhou aboard.
Well, and I will say, like, the gameplay of it really helped to sell that too, of feeling like you're actually there. You know, I think they did the designers, I can't remember who was a designer on it. I want to say it was Ryan. They did a really good job of capturing the feel of that battle, so that you actually felt like you were helping out and doing things, and you were there, but you were just one of the other ships, you know. Yeah.
Well, congrats.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, it was really good. Well done.
All right, Kat, why don't you sweep us out of STO News?
Oh, well, you would say that when apparently I closed it.
That's it for the week in gaming news. Now it's on to hailing frequencies. Let's see what's incoming.
Close.
No,
that's close.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think you didn't say open hailing frequencies. I heard something like, let's look at hailing frequencies.
Now it's on. I think I said on.
Well,
actually, go ahead, Nick. Why don't you?
No, I didn't mean. I was just joking around because I have it here.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Kat.
Where are we? At the very bottom?
So bottom of STO News, right after other gaming news.
Oh.
It's
right
Anthony's
before
part.
old sections. Don't copy.
I see that. That's it for this week in gaming news. Now let's open hailing frequencies and see what's incoming.
All right. I'm going to hit stop. Yeah, that is a really sweet map. The Battle of the Binary Stars.
So how much were you involved in the Risa lighting update?
Not a whole lot. That was mostly Scott. We had talked about it a couple of times, and actually we had tested it back in the day. We had taken the old 24-hour sky file and then just chopped out the one time zone for, sunset, essentially. And so we had done that at some point and then just never hooked it up or decided against it or whatever. And this year we decided to go for it. And so we used that, I think, as the starting point. But then Scott, that didn't look great on its own. And I think part of that is just doing a 24-hour sky file is always crazy. And you can never get every moment of the 24 hours to look perfect. So Scott did a lot of work to change out the sky and to make it feel more sunset-y. And I think he did a really good job with it.
Oh, yeah. I've already been there. Well, I have had a character there for about the last week. So
we haven't started the event yet, right?
Today, yeah.
Oh, is it today? Okay.
I already ran my mission to get my ship tokens.
All right. All right, let's do feedback. This one should be a short one.
Okay.
Cool. All right. I'm going to hit the big red button in 3, 2, 1. Feedback in 3, 2. Well, Captain's hailing frequencies are now open, and we're ready to receive all of your incoming messages.
Episode 419's first community question was, if you could reboot Star Trek TNG, who would you cast?
From Facebook, Ron Kinney, TNG, like TOS, was a masterpiece that doesn't need to be recreated.
Ooh.
Good point. Well said.
What do you think, Nick? Who would you, if you could recast TNG?
I would take all of the actors from the first X-Men movie and put them into the roles on the bridge.
At least we get to keep Patrick Stewart then. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm in.
Play Data now.
Okay.
Noonien Sung. Via Twitter, Ken from Chicago writes in Star Trek: The Same Generation. It follows up on TNG characters with the same actors and finally breaks the silly unwritten rule that everyone has to be on the same ship or station.
I think most people were like, no, never recast it. It's fine.
I know.
Episode 419's second community question was, what are you most looking forward to getting during the 2019 Ryzian Lolanaut Festival?
Nick.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, herpes. Wait, no. From PriorityOnePodcast.com, Sean Newboy says, I need to get the new Tribble and the ship.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get this ship this year. That's what I'm thinking.
Getting that ship for sure. From PriorityOnePodcast.com, Tyler Maxwell, nothing really jumps out at me as must-haves, though I guess actually being able to throw a baseball back and forth between folks sounds kind of fun.
All right, everybody, I'm going to hit stop. Hey, Nick, you doing anything special for 4th of July?
Friends have a party every year. I'll go up there and watch fireworks from their deck. But
Nice.
yeah, nothing terribly exciting. You?
No, nothing exciting.
You're not going to drive down to DC and watch the giant military parade?
I am not at all. Not even a little.
But there'll be tanks and planes.
Oh.
And so much money spent.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry.
And for those of you that are watching us live right now, we do want to remind you that coming up at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, John Champion and Ken Ray of Mission Log Podcast will be starting up Mission Log Live, and they have a very special guest, Roger Nygaard, Trekkie's producer director, is their guest. So be sure not to miss that Mission Log Live coming up right here, coming up on Facebook.com/Mission Log Live, Mission Log Pod, Mission Log Pod. I will put that in the chat for everybody because I obviously cannot speak. Today is not my day to speak. Oh, you know what else is awesome that I didn't talk about is that we are now on Pandora. You can, so Pandora started doing a podcast page. And so now you can, if you use Pandora, which I think a lot of people still do. I think Pandora is still a thing, right? Or did everybody move over to Spotify? Doesn't matter because we're on both. So you can just do a search for Roddenberry or Priority One, and you'll find Mission Log. You'll find Priority One Podcast. I don't think Women at Warp or Daily Trek Files are up there yet, or the Trek Files, Daily Trek News or Trek Files. But those I'm certain are coming. But yeah, we're over on Pandora now, guys. It's awesome.
Very cool.
There is nowhere you can hide from us. Well, Mark,
my mom says, "How's your little show?" I'm like, "Oh, it's fine, Mom."
Little.
You say there's nowhere you can hide from us.
I know, but the Pandora, because my mom's like, "Can you program my Pandora to play stuff I like?"
Yeah.
Well, now you're gonna program it to play Priority One, so that she can listen to our
Does
little
it just,
show.
like play random episodes from the past after you listen to them?
No,
awesome. it goes back chronologically. or episodically.
Nice.
What happens if I dislike an episode?
That would be sad, Nick. Why would you do that to me? Why?
All the episodes are great.
It's true. Very true.
Just fast forward.
How dare you? All right, let's do closing in 3, 2, 1. This is Elijah closing sync 1.
This is Kat closing sync 2.
I said I wasn't going to sync.
Closing sync 3.
My bad. I don't know why I said closing syncing. I said I wasn't.
That way you weren't doing that this time.
I know. I messed up. Closing in 3, 2.
Oh. Well, that wraps up episode 420 of Priority One, a Roddenberry Star Trek podcast. For more great podcasts like Mission Log, Women at Warp, The Trek Files, and daily Star Trek news, visit podcast.roddenberry.com.
Hold on, I got to read this. Before we go, we can't forget to send a very special thanks to some of our Patreon supporters. Diana Gunther, Darnell Dwayne Ross, David K. Rutley, Joshua Selig, and Peter Archibald. We thank them and our other patrons for their ongoing contributions to Priority One.
Before we go...
Got it. Yeah.
Before we go...
Three episodes under her belt. She knows. You're a veteran now.
Something like that. Before we go, here's a community question for this week. Are you going to San Diego Comic-Con this year? What are you most looking forward to? Panels, meet and greets, interactive displays, exclusives? Or, now that you've seen the stats, what do you think about the Tier 6 Ryzian Cruiser and the Ryzian Pilot Corvette?
Super green.
Super green.
Captains, you know we love hearing from you. Leave a comment at our website at PriorityOnePodcast.com, on our Facebook page at Facebook.com/PriorityOnePodcast, or find us on Twitter or find us on Twitter and Instagram at PriorityOnePod.
Not Priority One Prod. Don't miss a thing from the Star Trek multiverse. Catch our episodes every Friday by pointing your favorite podcast app to feeds. Catch our episodes every Friday by pointing your favorite podcast app. Catch our episodes every Friday by doing a search on your favorite podcast app for Roddenberry, where you'll get a listing of all the Roddenberry Podcast Network shows, including Priority One. You can even join in on the fun while we record our episodes live on Tuesday nights at around 11:30 p.m. Eastern. Ooh, that's wrong.
I was like, isn't it way earlier now?
Yeah. You can even join in on the fun while we record our episodes live on Tuesday nights at around 8 p.m. Eastern. Okay. You can even join in on the fun while we record our episodes live on Tuesday nights at around 8 p.m. Eastern on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter. Keep an eye on our social media channels for details.
And if you're still craving more, be sure to spend time with Admiral Winters and me and the Priority One Armada. Saturday nights, the Armada broadcasts live to review the latest Star Trek Online and Armada news, as well as spotlight some of our amazing members in our community. Each week, we team up with you, the viewers, to earn things like reputation marks and dilithium. With regular giveaways, there is something for all STO players, new and old. Follow us on all of our social media accounts for broadcast times, and if you'd like to join the Armada, visit PriorityOneArmada.com.
This episode of Priority One Podcast is brought to you by our patrons through Patreon.com. Find out more and add your support at Patreon.com/PriorityOne. Even if you can't make a financial contribution, please help spread the word about the show and invite your fellow Trekkies. It's your support that keeps us going.
Don't forget to tune in to Priority One Productions Guard Frequency podcast. Broadcast. Dang it. Don't forget to tune in. Dang it. I can't do it now.
Did you say broadcast?
Yeah. No, I said broadcast.
Oh, man.
You know this.
That is not the new website, guys. That is not the new website. Do not go there.
Don't forget to tune in to Priority One Productions Guard Frequency podcast at guardfrequency.com. Each episode, the Guard will take you inside the universe of your favorite space sims, including a tabletop adventure played out by your hosts. And Heroes Rise brings you up to date with the world of Dungeons and Dragons. Learn all about the latest publications, tools, tips, tricks, and traps in less time than it takes to skin a wyvern. Head over to heroesrisepodcast.com to discover their secrets.
I know it's me. Keep going.
Do.
Thanks to our audio editors, including William Hardy, Brandon Parker, Rand Hurl, Daniel Stevens, and Skiffy. Thanks to our producer, Jake Morgan, for assisting in the production of this weekly show. I don't know why I read it that way. Thanks to our producer, Jake Morgan, for assisting in the production of this weekly show. To our community manager, Shane Hoover. To our graphic artist and web designer, Henry Pomper, with support from... Well, I gotta change that. To our graphic artist, Henry Pomper, with support from Jason Smith. I don't know what just happened there.
Wow.
I think I might have had maybe... Okay. Thanks to our graphic artist, Henry Pomper, with support from Jason Smith of... Why? With support from Jason Smith of the Priority 1 Armada. Thanks to the composer of our theme music, Chris Watts. Thanks to our syndication partners, Subspace Radio and Trek Radio. But most importantly, a big thanks to you, the Star Trek community, our listeners, because without your ongoing support, none of this would be possible. Oh, hold on a second. Addendum to this. First and foremost, a massive thanks to Nick Tacofangs Boy, environment artist for Star Trek Online, for being our guest host this week. Nick, it is always a pleasure chatting with you and doing a show with you. I cannot wait. I am so hoping to see you at Vegas this year.
Yeah, me too.
Thanks to our audio editors, including You Can Splice This Together. All right, everybody hits stop. All right, cool. So, Captains, that wraps up our live broadcast recording of episode 420, man. Of Priority
420,
One.
Man.
Of 420, man. Priority 1, a Roddenberry Star Trek podcast. It's
broadcast.
So cool. Broadcast. Welcome to the
I don't
broadcast.
want to do that.
Welcome to the broadcast. Anywho, yes, that's a wrap. Nick, thank you again so very much. Really,
thanks for having me.
I hope you'll see you.
Thanks for putting up with me, I should say.
No, not at all. Not at all, man. You were great. You were so great. And honestly, if you're more than welcome to come back on whenever you'd like, especially if it means booting Anthony. I'm kidding. I kid. I only jest because he's not here.
Talk to me when we release season 18 or announce season 18, because there are some cool things coming that way.
Oh, all right.
Ooh,
all right.
exciting.
Well, we'll have to see what happens at the panel at Vegas, and we'll, of course, talk to you at STOV. All right. That wraps it up.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, just nice meeting you, Kat. Bye.
Nice meeting you, too.
All right, everybody. We're going to be wrapping up here. Again, stay tuned at 10 o'clock for Mission Log Live with their very special guest, Roger Nygaard, Trekkie's producer, director. He'll be their guest this week. So be sure to check that out over at Mission Log, facebook.com/Mission Log Pod. All right, Captains, we will be signing off. And until next week, have a very safe weekend for my American compatriots. Compadres. It's easier for me to say in Spanish. Paisanos. Stay safe, drink responsibly, and we'll see you next week. Say goodnight, everybody.
Guys. Bye. Take care of your pets during the 4th.
Yeah.
Fly it, print it, display it. Break the mold and 3D print a one-of-a-kind starship. Your starship. With mixed dimensions. Right now, Priority 1 listeners can save 20% on all ships and sizes. Just use coupon code PRIORITY20. That's PRIORITY20 at checkout. Build your fleet and display it proudly.